Oh, camera on, I believe. Yes. Anyway, okay. Try to make a video here. Just things rolling. Stuff's always rolling through the consciousness. You gain a new perspective every day. Some of it is just same old. Where you just get into a pattern of thinking, and it just. Yeah, the same pattern arises, or you have little this and that's that change the nuance of the day, but it's this pattern you live in, this the story, and whether you're doing Red Riding Hood or you're doing Goldilocks or Hansel and Gretel or whatever your narrative is, you kind of get back into the forest or back into the costume, and you just play your role. And Modern Mystic just made a video kind of talking about gray text in that kind of manner, that kind of style. And so it's just something on my mind in terms of just watching myself and my own patterns. And even the patterns of arguments, it is year after year. These themes that are persistently re-arising, and the whack the monkey or the mole or whatever the hell it is. You just feel like it just, you can't ever stomp it out. It's like some kind of fire that, you step on it over here and it creates a little breeze, and it starts the fire over here again. You stomp on that, and same thing. And it's like you just never get ahead of it. You always just struggle. Yeah. So anyway, that's probably enough said right there. It's why am I bothering? There seems to be some mission statement that compels me. Some kind of something inside. So anyway, I'll deal with Antikontavad's theme song, which is Science is a Religion. That's basically his argument. He doesn't see a substantial difference between the credibility of the conclusions people drew about reality 2,000 years ago, the information they had to draw those conclusions 2 or 3 or 4,000 years ago, and the information we have to draw conclusions about reality. He thinks it's all just some sort of, that it's all ignorant projection, and there is no such thing as intelligent interjection. And it's just, this theme does rise. I mean, there's people who are not, they're atheists, but they're absolutely nothing else as a replacement. So they're anti-theism and pro-nothing. So it's this, undefined philosophy is somehow supposed to be superior to a wrong philosophy, and to me it's the ultimate wrong philosophy. No conclusion is a guaranteed wrong answer, in my opinion. There's no way no opinion can be right. It can't be correct to believe nothing, to believe in nothing, to understand nothing. Atheism, that's that myopic, like only half of the word, only half of the sentence, only half of the definition isn't worth anything. There's no point in being anti if you're not pro something. It just isn't. It just ain't going to work that way. In most cases, anyway. The the void is not a suitable replacement for even the crime, because void is as much of a crime in terms of its lack of continuity to any likely reality. The reality needs to be recognized. Saying that isn't real over there, okay, isn't going to do you any good if you hasn't recognized what is real right ahead of you. So, it just isn't. I mean, you have to invest to play the game. You can't just say, I won't buy that bad stock, and then you don't buy any good stock. This ain't gonna get you anywhere. I mean, it'll get you out of being as obvious a loser, but it's not gonna. Your money's not gonna do anything. You're not gonna be able to keep it. Let's say, by the rules of the game, you have to invest in something. It's just going to be the nature of how the game is played. You don't get to sit on the sidelines and pretend the truth will find you, or that somehow by magic you'll perform the talent without practice. There is a skill level to being productive and useful and functional, and you need to understand the game to play the game well. And to say there is no game, which is Antikontavat's game, basically, to say there is no need to acquire skill, to invest in nothing, is just nonsense. And the truth is, that's not really what he's living. He's selling that, but he's not living that. And so I'll make an accusation of kind of dishonesty, because I think he truly does. I think he is a neo-Darwinist. I think he does see purpose in fighting for the sake of fighting, in replication for the sake of replication, in dominance for the sake of dominance, in brutality for the sake of brutality. He is owned by a notion of some sort of positive to be gleaned out of conflict, and that there's somehow it's a progressive battle, that if all we get out of it is a third ear, or an eye where our belly button is, or some other bullshit advance, like aren't we cool, we've gained an extra inch or an extra pound, a third foot, that somehow, no matter what it costs, it's worth it. Because aren't we interesting? Because we have 3 feet. And we're not doing any of that anyway. There's no real prospect that that's where the human race is heading, is to any positive mutation. If there's going to be mutations, they're not going to be pretty. They're going to be insectoid style functionality, not beautiful or graceful or elegant or any of that crap. And again, even if they were, so what? It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't add up to anything. It's still just a grist mill. Still just grinding it all up and packaging it, as a blanket. Grind up all the miseries and make it into a blanket to comfort the miserable. It's really just all quite insidious, and most especially in the hands of people who invest themselves in notions of momentum alone. The ball is rolling, keep it rolling. Let's all be good little Sisyphus girls and boys. Just push our boulders and be myopic and insult our intelligence as thoroughly as possible. I mean, really, no point in being smart enough to avoid the dodge of 3-card Monte if you're going to fall for any other pyramid scheme that comes down the line. If you're going to be an even bigger sucker when the next crook comes along and buy the Brooklyn Bridge or something, yes, you just isn't any point in it. No point in being clever by a half or by 2/3 or by anything short of doing it right. So there really is only two choices: get it right or fuck up. And not trying to even guess at the truth is just a guarantee that you're not going to find it. You're not gonna be playing the game required to suit the truth, to perfect your performance. Again, if the game is archery and you're playing bouncy ball, you're not gonna be doing what needs to get done to play the game good. It's all going to be just a bunch of fail. You think you're winning. I bounce the ball. Well, bouncing the ball ain't the game. It's not the measure. And I feel quite confident that the game we're playing isn't nihilism. That is not the game. The game isn't, the DNA says so, or the DNA knows so. That's not the game. The game requires a little more elegance than that. Use this brain, take a look at things and realize where the values lie, and how you score the goal, which is live a life that produces through function, value. I mean, not only just minimal efficiency, but maximum productivity. I mean, that's the game. And you ain't gonna do it from the bench. You ain't gonna do it, nitpicking and naysaying and all that kind of crap. That ain't playing a good game. That ain't playing any game at all. Oh, excuse me. After kind of cold and kind of breezy. Ooh. Yeah. There's my complaint. Throw that in, of course. Yeah. So anyway, there's water. Shouldn't have my hand in my pocket in case I have to use my balancing skills. So, will it be? I think I can have more of a conclusion. Yeah, fingers cold. Should have worn my gloves. Anyway, brittle. Off. Yeah. So again, I think it's a reasonable person can understand that the odds of none of it mattering really are. I think it's really quite silly to look at the world with all this stuff in it and you say there's no distinction between turning left and turning right, that there's no better game to play, I think that's just silly. I think it's quite obviously a game of complex nuance, and you have to commit to who you're going to play for. Are you on Logic's team? You're on God's team? You're on Babel's team? You're on Liar's team? Bullshitter's team? Fuckhead's team? Fucktard's team? Who are you playing for? What are you playing for? You're playing to win? Or you're playing to be an asshole? Better close the gate on the pool. Avoid any legal consequence. Gate's almost. I have to fix that in the spring. Anyway. So, now I think I'm done. And such. So forth and whatnot. Clean the feet. And see you later.